Every Wednesday night, Ardmore, Tennessee has EWA Wrestling, Empire Wrestling Alliance. This last Wednesday night, there was no show in Ardmore. It's Friday night, March the 20th, 2020. I'm here today with JL and Kaos, two members of the infamous Bloodline. We're right in the midst of the coronavirus outbreak, a global pandemic affecting every single life in America and around the world. What does that mean to independent wrestling, and what does that mean to our lives? Gentlemen, we're here today at this empty arena, which you guys have run a lot on Fridays.
This guy.
It's empty tonight.
It's empty on Friday.
It's going to be empty tomorrow night, and it's going to be empty until God knows when.
Right.
I want to talk to you guys today about how the closures in independent wrestling have affected our livelihood. The thing that if you're like me, you love the most. I mean, we would be out there right now at a wrestling show, am I right?
Yeah, actually, you're right.
So what are we doing now? I mean, we're here in Ardmore. There are no fans in the building. We've seen it on bigger scales, WWE, AEW. Everybody's running with empty arenas because social norms are changing. I want to ask you guys, what do you think about these closures in indie wrestling?
Man, it's rough on some guys, you know, I'm not going to lie. A lot of guys depend on indie wrestling for a living. You know, I'm not as high scale as them guys, so me, it's just my little extra money on the side, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of guys do depend on these seats to be filled with people. You know, as far as the empty arenas, you know, that's the big shows. They got money in trillions and hundreds and billions of dollars, you know what I mean, tied up. So I don't blame them in a way. But we're allowed up to 25 people right now in the state of Alabama in one place. Okay. You know, so if you get 2 matches, that's 6 to 8 wrestlers right there. You know, what are you going to do?
You're not going to have any room for fans left in the building.
Right. So.
Now, has the closure of this show had any impact on the company?
No, the company's going pretty good. You know what I mean? We're going to make it through it as long as it doesn't, as long as this thing doesn't go on too long. EWA will survive. Some of the other companies that are shut down, I know that they'll survive too. I was supposed to actually debut tonight for the first time in my entire career at SWF in Tullahoma in a cruiserweight tournament, but unfortunately it got canceled and that debut may have to wait. As far as how long that debut will have to wait, we're not sure. I mean, that's why we don't really have any say on when we can come back because we don't know how long this thing is going to last.
That's right, that's right. Now, with all these shows closing down, I have heard that there are a couple instances where shows are running this weekend now. The CDC is currently advising that we limit all unnecessary activities. Do you think that it's a matter that they think it's necessary to run these shows? Or do you think that maybe there are other factors at play?
Some may think it's necessary. I mean, when the talks first started here, we thought running last Wednesday night was going to be necessary. After everything that went down, everything on television, we had talks with people here, talks with people there, and we're fine. That's how I say EWA will be okay, because things were put in motion to ensure we're going to be okay. Some of those other companies may not be. You know, you pay rent on the buildings, you may not own the building. You know, there may be a lot of different factors coming into why they're running, but I feel a little safer not running.
That makes perfect sense. Do you think that the fans are going to go to these shows still? I mean, do you think that they're not concerned with the same warnings that the government is giving everyone?
I don't know, that's like a 50-50 right now because everybody's bored, you know what I mean? So people will, I'm going to say people's going to show. How many people, I don't know, but I'm going to say it's going to be over the required amount, you know, to run the show right now. But, I mean, to each their own, you know what I'm saying? If they get away with it and wrestling still lives on, do what you got to do. I'm not going to be calling nobody on you. Do what you got to do, you know what I mean? But, I mean, 25 people, man, it adds up quick. It adds up quick, you know what I mean? So, I don't know.
I'd rather stay on the safe side. I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about the coronavirus at all.
Of course.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and I'm not really 100% behind it either. You know what I mean? So I don't really know. But just for the sake of, say, my children at home, you know what I mean? We got kids. You want to try to stay away from the big gatherings just to kind of protect yourself and your family at home. I mean, that's what really makes sense to me.
And at the same time, they're like, hey, keep 6 feet distance between you and people at all time, but you're putting everybody in your house at once.
Of course.
So, I mean, not everybody got enough room at home to stay 6 feet from every kid they have. So, you know, they're kind of contradicting the shit they say, but that's life, you know what I mean? Everything's going to get turned around, I guess. I don't know. All we can do is hope for the best and then just see how the outcome comes, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, of course. Now, I was also going to ask, in your normal day-to-day lives, like, what kind of changes have been going on for you lately? Like, are you finding that, like, your typical day is completely altered, or are you having any kind of just, like, social experiences that are completely blown out of proportion by, like, kind of like a public attitude change?
I haven't had really much change in, like, nothing from the social life, social media, anything like that. There's not yet. People are still on the edge. I think they're on the edge of paranoia. You know, they're kind of wondering what's going on. And so far, no big blow-ups that I know of or that I've experienced. But I myself, I've stayed at home since Tuesday, so
Very good idea.
that's my way of dealing
Now,
with it.
have you felt like the urge to, like, break out from that at all? Like, you don't care, you're gonna go out and do whatever you want?
No, not yet. I mean, when I say that, not yet, because I probably will. But like I said, the safety of my children at home, that kind of comes first, and is going to keep me kind of where I need to be.
Of course.
I'm on the opposite end, man. You know what I'm saying? We're working every day right now.
Oh, yeah.
Work's actually picking up right now. I mean, it's only a 3-man crew, but, you know, our construction's steadily going right now, you know. So, I don't know. I would figure people wouldn't want us in their house, but a lot of people is just letting us come in, do our thing, and get out, you know what I mean? So, I've been working, you know, fortunate enough to be working, and nothing's really changed as far as me hanging out with people, because I don't really hang out with people. I'm always with my family, so that's kind of just ordinary, you know what I'm saying? But other than, like, not going to the wrestling shows, that's like kind of my hangout, or if we're going out to dinner or something like that. What has affected us, you know, for my family personally, you know, we eat out a lot, you know, because it's 3 of us.
Yeah.
So, you know, cook and eat out's the same price for my family, you know what I mean? Some people got 4 or 5 kids, of course it's cheaper to cook at home. But, you know, we eat out a lot, so that has changed, but it's nothing really crazy, you know. We don't
close next door yet?
They closed next door. Yeah, they closed the little towns around. Right now all you can do is order in and, you know, get it to go or whatever. There's a couple little low-key places in Ardmore, like this little bistro place that's like right across here. The guy and woman's, they've only owned it for a few months, not even a year, you know, and they're already going through this. You know, I went there today and got a little bit of food just to kind of show love to them, you know what I'm saying? We're not eating at the big restaurants like McDonald's and stuff like that as much as we were at first when we first heard about it, when kind of letting it go over our head, but
Trying to support.
right, yeah, we're trying to
local
support the
industry.
local, yeah, because it's not only hurting this, but this town's only one like town, man. So, you know, there's a lot of mom and pops, you know, little companies out here all down this little street here that, like you said, might not have the luxury of pushing rent off, or, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't know what's going on, but if I could support, you know, I'm gonna go there and spend a little bit of money to help out.
Now, kind of on that topic, is there anything that, like, our fans can do that you know of where they can, like, still support our wrestling? Like, for example, I'm going to do a live broadcast with Dr. Trey Franklin. We're going to try to entertain the fans just through a Facebook Live. Do you think wrestlers are kind of trying to, like, reach out and connect with their fans again that way?
A lot of guys still got merchandise out there. You know, buy their merchandise, man. It don't hurt to spend $10, $20. You're sitting in the house anyways, you know. A lot of guys, you can go on websites and get them. Some guys just got them personally, but just reach out to them, you know, even if you $5, you know, wristband, stickers, anything, you know, anything to show love to the guys that really are in it, you know, for the money aspect of it, you know. I say just help them out that way, to show them that, you know, you're still out there waiting on them to come back or whatever.
You know, I've seen, of course, all the memes and the guys on Facebook advertising their merch, or people doing it for them, you know what I mean? And I don't think that's a bad idea at all if you got the money to help out a guy. Like he said earlier, a lot of these guys do this as a living.
Of course.
You know, of course, we're lucky enough not to have to do it for a living, because me, myself, I don't like the road trips. So, you know, help them out in any way possible. Contact them, you know, ask them how they're doing, because a lot of these guys, you know, they want to make this a living, they want to make this their long-term career. And a lot of guys that I've met have potential to be that, you know, go to the WWE, the AEW. So some of them are kind of like in a rut right now. And I still think that it's still too early in all this. If this thing lasts longer, you're gonna see more and more of it on social media. But right now, I think everybody's just still in a little bit of state of shock because I've not actually seen anybody advertising, go buy my merch, you know what I mean? I haven't seen that yet, but
I've seen a few.
Yeah,
I've seen a few guys. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen a few guys. I ain't got none right now, but if I did, I'd be happy as heck if y'all went out and spent $10, you know, and I didn't have it right now, you know what I mean? So yeah, show love to them, for sure.
Well, do you think that the scene is just gonna pick up right where it left off, or do you think that there's kind of gonna be like a public, like, phase in? Like, we're gonna try to get back to our normal lives,
It's gonna
kinda
come
slowly,
back.
one step at a time?
Yeah, it's gonna come back. There's no doubt in my mind. You put all these people in the house for a couple of weeks, you're gonna have divorce is gonna be number one in all around. I'm gonna tell you right now. And they're gonna be trying to get away from each other. Them kids are gonna be getting on their nerves. They're gonna be ready for all that. They're gonna bring them here. They're gonna let them kids go off on us. They're gonna let them run around. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're gonna want to get out. I think at first, maybe the first show will be a little light, but I think once people understand that you can get out, I think they're gonna get out and do what they got to do. Just like when people didn't understand, hey, sit home, you know, if you got to. It took a while for people to sit home, you know. Like I said, I can't sit home. Our job's steadily going, so. But if my job said, hey, stay home, that's what I'd have to do. You know, I just stay home, you know what I mean? But I think it's going to pick up, man. I think people will, you know, will be ready to see somebody get the heck whooped out of them about time this is all over. Somebody's wanting to get whooped up. So.
That's right. Somebody's gonna have to do it.
Somebody's going to have to do it for them, right?
I guarantee you he's already working on something.
Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. If I could right now, I'd go in there and just wrestle the Invisible Man. Like, that's how bad I'm ready to wrestle. And I know everybody else out there that's like me is ready to do the same, so.
See, this is a good interview because we're on the opposite end of most things. I think they'll be phasing in. I think it'll be a good group of people who would just be paranoid.
Yeah,
Just
I can see
I can see
paranoia
that,
alone.
yeah.
And I think it may take a little while, you know what I mean? And that's not just for wrestling.
That could be society.
Yeah.
Right,
around,
yeah.
I don't think we've ever had a scare of this type. You know, we hadn't had one in 100 years or so with a pandemic like this. So things are kind of escalated in today's society with all the social media, So I think this group is taking it to a little bit more of an extreme, and I think that's going to pan out in the end. You know what I mean? They're going to be a little bit skittish to get out, a little bit, you know. It's going to take time to get in full force.
I also think it's kind of like where you're from. Like, we got a small town, so I don't think it'd be as hard for us to build back because most of these people are already older crowd that's been through it. A lot of these older guys from here and older girls from here, they done lived through it all. Like, they're not afraid right now. Like, most of the old people I talk to are like, you know what I mean? They're just shrugging it off, whether, you know, they want to admit it or not. So I think it depends what you got going on. If you're in a big city, it might take a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Bigger city.
That's right. Bigger
You know,
crowd.
right, bigger crowd. It might take a little bit to build up. Some shows might get 10 or 15 and be happy. Be like, God dang, we packed it out tonight. So, you know, hey, more power to them. 10 or 20 people might be a lot to certain shows, you know. 30, 40, whatever, you know. And just with us, we don't care really who comes or who don't. We want to pack the house out, but we know if we keep doing what we do, we're going to pack the house out. You know what I'm saying?
And you guys pack the house out all the time. So now I want to get back to what you're saying about paranoia. I kind of wanted to touch on maybe what some of the conspiracy theories are that you guys have kind of been digging into. Because I know people that are not normally into conspiracy theories are starting to like pick up little things on our situation and just notice that this isn't right. This isn't right. It's almost like the Mandela effect in reverse or something. So what are some of the things that you guys have kind of been digging into with it?
Do you want to start first? Because this guy...
He might be the most paranoid one.
I am the most paranoid. This could be an entirely another episode.
JL and his conspiracy theories.
This is just recently.
Do it, because YouTube's still paying.
Because I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Like, you know, just seeing the way things
Every
are falling
conspiracy
in line.
theorist starts with that line.
I'm not. Just seeing the way things are falling in line, and that's why I think a lot of people are still on the fence with it. They don't know, and that falls back. If I didn't have family and kids, you know, if I didn't have children, I'd be out here running the streets and doing whatever I thought was necessary. But I think that's where it falls back to is, you know, people are on the fence and they don't know whether to believe this is real because, you know, we were talking earlier about actually seeing someone that has the virus say it on social media, you know what I mean? And
yeah, we've yet to see anything.
we've yet to see anything like that.
locally.
locally, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, at least anybody we're connected to.
yeah, I mean, and that seems a little bit shocking because with indie wrestlers, you know, we're connected all over the country
Yeah.
with other indie wrestlers, and their social medias would share whatever, you know what I mean? So I think, you know, there's a lot of things that fall into place that just kind of seem suspicious, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
I mean, how much you, man? Like, I don't really, I try not to let life bother me. You know what I mean? I'm trying to live the life one day. I'm that one day at a time guy. You know what I mean? Let's get through today. If today's been crap, let's start over tomorrow. That's my, you know, that's what I try to do. You hold on, then your brain just explodes. You know, you hold on to yesterday and the day before. But it's just funny, man. Like, everybody's got all their money in early this year, man. Them taxes was coming on time. People was on Facebook saying, I got mine 53 days early. I got mine 20 days early. Yeah, man, mine did in. I didn't know. And then y'all went out, boom, 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 boom. And then they said, hey, you got to spend more money with us. You went out and spent more money. All that money got recycled right back to the freaking, you know, government, man. And we're at election year right now. I mean, come on, man. And then Trump's going to say, I'm going to give y'all money.
He's gonna give us money.
And I've been seeing people on there. I ain't gonna call y'all out, but y'all been saying screw Trump, but y'all been saying I'm gonna cash that check anyway. Screw Trump still. But you know that money's just gonna pick you back up to where you left off, and it's going right back to the government too, man. You know what I'm saying? So us, like I'm low class. You know what I mean? I'm not middle. I'm not high. I live down here. I live week by week, check by check. We got enough to do. We got enough to go by. I can last a few months. You know what I mean? But we ain't got years saved up, you know, I ain't got my daughter's college tuition saved up right now, you know what I mean? So our money's gonna be used steadily, you know what I'm saying? But, I don't know.
That's another part there. I was in the bank the other day, and the guy in front of me actually asked to withdraw his entire amount, you know what I mean? And the woman asked him, was there a problem? And he said, no, it's just with all this talk of coronavirus going around. And I mean, you know, I should maybe I should have been listening in, you know what I mean? Because once he said he wanted his entire, you know, that kind of drew my attention.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it was a little over $6,000 or something like almost $7,000 that he was wanting to take out.
Do you know the exact penny amount?
No, I don't. But I was listening. 6,800 and some odd change, I'm not sure. But the fact of the matter
Blue
was,
card.
you know, then your mind goes to suspicion. Okay, well, is this his income tax refund or is this his account?
Right, yeah.
Either way, he wanted it all at the
He wanted
time,
it all.
and you know, his answer to that was no. It's
Because the virus.
this scared this virus.
Right.
I'm taking my
And
money
that's
out.
another thing. Like, all right, cool. But if they start sending in these troops and shutting us down like everybody thinks it's going to happen, what good is money going to do right
Yeah,
now? Money's about to be worthless. That's about to be the last thing you're worried about.
And that's what I
you know
didn't understand.
So
about
that's
him.
what I don't know. I've been hearing people do that too.
I didn't
Saying,
understand.
hey, get your bank account, you know. Which,
But then again, he could have went straight from the bank up to the dollar market up here and got
Yeah,
all the
toilet
toilet paper.
Yeah, because we got
Could've bought-
$8,647.
He bought every roll of toilet paper the town had.
I don't know what's gotten into people buying 600 rolls of toilet paper.
No, I live in the friendliest town in Tennessee, and people have been terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think about what's going on right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. I honestly don't. I just try to hope for the best, man. You know, I try to think that, you know, everything's going to blow over. Like you said, when we're growing up, it's a little different. Now you got this new age, everybody panics over anything, everything, what kind of food you're ingesting, what kind of animal you freaking hunt, what, you know, what you call them, sir, miss, yes, ma'am, whatever, you know what I mean? So, I mean, everything, you know, I think if we weren't so uptight about everything else, maybe this wouldn't be such a high, you know, thing, panic, you know, but we're so uptight these days and everything's such a freaking panic mode. And now they're saying the kids are getting depressed because of the virus. Because they had to quit their jobs and sit home.
People have to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, kids are getting to sit home from school, but they're getting depressed. I mean, that sounds like mommy and daddy issue. That don't sound like a virus issue. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know, man. I really don't. I hope it blows over and here freaking tomorrow and they say, oh, it's slowed down, you know, here about 7 more days and, you know, whatever. But like I said, I'll be working all weekend. And people's not telling me to get out of their house. You know, I change windows and doors for a living. You know, there's only 3 of us on a crew. So when we go to a house, of course, there ain't, you know, 18, 19 people in the house. But they're like, come in, I already paid my deposit, I need my stuff done, you know
That's
what I
right.
mean? So-
Virus or no, we
Yeah, and I mean, I try to clean up good, and, you know, I try to stay on my daughter for, you know, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands, you know, but that's all you can do. At the end of the day, us worrying today ain't gonna change what's gonna happen tomorrow, you know what I mean? We could prep out and be prepared for something, that's always good in life. This shouldn't be the only time you do that in life, you know what I mean? You should always be prepared for the next step in life, just in case, you know, but you buying $800 worth of meat, who's to say next week we ain't gonna have a big storm and the power ain't gonna go out?
You're gonna be out $800 worth of meat.
You got 2 freaking refrigerators that's gone now, you know what I mean? And people, you know, people's just not thinking clearly, man. Yeah, I mean, get you meat, do what you gotta do, you know, have a deep freezer, whatever. I'm not saying not to have it, but just think about it, you know. We can't control Mother Nature, we can't control what's going on now, so just be smart. Be smart about it.
I didn't see things going this way, at least not here in the small towns.
Right.
When we got up here and came shopping, you know, and there's nothing on the shelves, I was really in shock. So I mean, that's
That's
another
when it
part
kind
of
of sunk in.
Yes, that's when it did for me, and that's when I got what I needed or what I could get at that time, and I went home and I've been there since Tuesday.
Thanks for coming out tonight.
Yeah. Should I
Out
get
of
to see
quarantine,
it? Yeah, he's out of quarantine. Oh my
Yeah, that
God.
means a
I
lot.
was surprised you looked like Bubble Boy when he came out.
Straight up. I'm not even gonna say that. Remind me later.
Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me here tonight,
Yeah,
and I'm
man.
sorry that it wasn't under better circumstances. I really would love the chance to talk to you guys again and maybe catch up on some stories or some things that we've
Oh
been through
yeah,
in the
man.
past.
That'd be cool, man.
I've been following Bloodline since I started doing this, and y'all have always been one of my favorites. So.
We appreciate it, man. You know, like I said, man, you know, on a last note, just everybody's out there that wants to support your local indie wrestler, buy their merch, help them out, reach out to them. You know, some guys might not have what you think they got. Just because they got it when they're in the ring and they look like they're the man, they might not be. Just reach out to them, the women, the men, the refs, anybody in this business.
Or the cameraman.
Cameraman, small town owners, mom and pop shops, reach out to all them people, man. Spread love. Don't buy out. Share it. Share love, man. Share it all. Help each other out, man.
That's
Honestly.
Right. We need to be taking care of each other right now, guys.
Yes.
Alright, I'm Cameraman. I'm here tonight in Ardmore, Tennessee at the EWA Arena. Not a single fan in the house. I'd like to thank my guests so much tonight. Kaos, JL, the Bloodline. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Be safe out there. We love you all.